to the place where blind men see. Oh, sorry, I was just listening to Creed. Pretty typical Sunday night, you know. Pretty typical Sunday night for me. Hello. Welcome to the Bit Escalated. I'm Cass, and this is our first episode. This is kind of crazy, guys. It's kind of wild, actually. Hello. What's up? I'm Cass. I'm 27 and I still don't know how to read. As you can tell, probably, I'm super nervous right now. This is my first time making a YouTube video. This is my first time putting my face, my real face, on the internet. And this is our first episode. Now, you may be asking, what does that mean? What does it mean by your real face, right? Most people don't have a fake face, so that would be a pretty valid question. For those that don't know, I typically stream over on Twitch as a VTuber named Miko. You might recognize my voice, you know, if you've come over from the dark side over to YouTube, this fair channel here. You may recognize my voice, you may recognize my hands sometimes, but this is the first time that I have shown this guy right here to anybody on the internet. And it's really scary, not gonna lie. So yeah, here we are. Here we are. So who am I? Not Jean Valjean. And if you get that reference, you are my best friend now. I'm Cass. And also, like I said, I'm Miko over on Twitch. I'm a VTuber. If you don't know what a VTuber is, I stream using a virtual avatar, so I don't show my face when I play games and talk about really stupid shit on stream. I'm a cute little anime guy, you know, but right now I'm just in my flesh era. I don't know. I've been wanting to do YouTube for probably, how old am I? Probably 10 years or so. Yeah, I'd say probably about 10 years or so I've been wanting to do YouTube, and I just have never had the balls to do it. I've gotten so close so many times, and I've just said, you can't do it, or you shouldn't for one or another reason, and this is my year of saying, just do it. And I'm still waiting for my Nike sponsorship, but I'm pretty sure it's going to probably come in maybe next episode. I think episode 2 would be deserving of a Nike sponsorship. But yeah, this is my just do it year. 2025 was definitely the start of my just do it year. And now we are still in that era in 2026. And this day of our Lord 2026, I'm still going to be popping my pussy. I'm going to be living unabashedly. I'm going to be doing the things that I've always told myself that I can't do. And this podcast is kind of a love letter to myself, saying that you don't need anyone else to do something. You don't need to be perfect to do what you want to do. And just do it, you know? Life is too short to not do the things that you want to do. And then the other reason of wanting to do this podcast is because I just like to yap, guys. If you know me, I like to yap, and I have a lot to yap about. This episode's title in my notes, I don't know what it's going to end up being named on YouTube, is called The Yappening. I don't think that's going to be the title of the actual episode, but that's what I put in my notes. And if that tells you anything about myself, I'm a yapper. I have so much to talk about, too much even, and I need an extra outlet for that so that I can stop bothering my friends so much with all of my useless information and useless things that I need to get off my noggin. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of filler words in the first couple episodes. I'm not used to recording, anything. I'm used to talking live. So I'm not used to like stringing things together, if that makes sense, without filler words or weird pauses. So bear with me as we get used to the flow of things. It's going to get better for sure. It took me about 3 hours to set up the background or like the set of this podcast because we're in my bedroom and I don't have a lot of stuff, to be honest, that like looks cool. You know, I have a bed, I have a desk, and I have a bass guitar. So I don't really have a lot to like make a cool background with or like a cool set. So we're working with what we have, and we are resourceful girly pops in this household. So my set here, I have a lovely Hatsune Miku poster. Great music video. If you haven't seen it already, it's the Dirty Rotten Girl music video. It's about her loving yaoi. It's great. I have a little Shiba work from home poster, a little print here from Pikarar. Pikarar is one of my favorite artists. She draws like just a bunch of Shibas. Great. And then up here, we have my Memento Mori Nosferatu skull candle. It's a very cute guy. We have some books. We have this guy here, which is me I'm personified. I might be speaking too far away from the microphone. I'm a person. This is me. This is me in a little guy figure. I am a sad clown all of the time. I am a little jester. For my friends and people online, you will very much know already that I am just a fool 24/7. I live to make my friends laugh. I live to make people entertained, and I will make a fool of myself all the time. So this is me, but I'm also a little sad inside sometimes. So that's me. I play D&D. So I have my lovely dice rolling tray here. I think there's another word for that because that makes it sound like a different type of rolling tray. A dice mat, I guess, if you will. On this shelf, I have a bunch of trinkets. I have some Smiskies. I have some Tamagotchi stuff. I got Kyo from Fruits Basket. That's my favorite anime. And then on this shelf, I have a bunch of plushies that are exploding. And then more books. So that's kind of the set tour there behind me. I have a coffee that I'm halfway through because I needed liquid courage. There's just coffee in here. But I needed like caffeine and energy because I didn't take my ADHD medication today. So I needed something to keep my brain working past the anxiety of filming for the first time. And then here on my beautiful laptop, I hope this is in frame. I don't know. I'm not a professional. Don't judge me. What do I have? What is on here? I have a frog sticker from Portland, Oregon. I am from Oregon originally. I'm from the West Coast. It says, Portland makes me wet because it rains there all the time and other reasons. I have a banana slug wearing a cowboy hat with a piece of straw in his mouth. And I think that is the most beautiful, majestic thing ever. I am a recent enjoyer of banana slugs, and I didn't know that it was something that I would become so attached to. Really like them. They're so cute. I have a Mount Hood sticker. Mount Hood is a mountain in Portland. And then I have my beautiful, the light of my life, the Distractible crew here as stickers. They are with me in spirit. You cannot see them in frame typically when the laptop is down here, but that's okay. That's okay. They are with me all the time. Speaking of Distractible, I'm missing a Mark stream for this, so this better be good. This better be worth my time, you know? Whoever's making this podcast, it better be good if I'm missing a Mark stream. I'll have to watch that later. I'll have to DVR that guy. But yeah, I'm a big Distractible fan. I can get into that later with my other hyperfixations. I don't need to talk about that now. But yeah, that's the set for now. I would like to get a nicer looking something at some point, but this is what I kind of like put together over the last 3 hours. I even went to my local thrift store in hopes that I would find just some like wacky shit to just put on the walls and make them not so bare. Cause I'm not a psychopath. I promise. I just don't have a lot of stuff on the East Coast yet. I've lived here for like, is it 2 years? Or is it a year and a half? No, I don't know. I've lived here for long enough where I should have more things, but I didn't move all of my stuff from Oregon. So most of my collectibles and like cool shit is still in Oregon, and I will get that. I will get that soon. There is a long story behind that. It's expensive. It's expensive to move stuff across the country. If you didn't know, if you couldn't figure that, because I knew. I just was like, yeah, future me will take care of that. And future me still will take care of that at some point. That'll happen. So yeah, this is the set for now. I would like I said, to make it look cooler, nicer, whatever. I also would like to get a real camera. I am filming on my iPhone right now. But we make do, right? We're resourceful guys. We get shit going. We make stuff happen. We pop our pussies so that we can accomplish our goals and dreams. So this podcast, as I said, is called the Bit Escalated. And you might be asking, what the fuck does that mean? So this podcast started as a joke between me and one of my friends. And then as time went on, it became less of a joke and a little bit more serious. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to do a podcast. Like, I'm just going to do a solo pod. I'm just going to yap all the time. This is going to be a great way for me to talk about my hyperfixations, just be my unabashed self, my stream of conscious. Yes, conscious. And then also just like be out of pocket as fuck. I'm so out of pocket. Super big warning, like to lay down some ground rules. I am so out of pocket. I'm so sorry if I say, no, I'm not. I'm not sorry if I say something really crazy and with like no context. That's on you to Google and figure out what the fuck I'm talking about. I will probably explain it sometimes, but sometimes I just like, we'll move on and forget what I even said 2 seconds beforehand. So the reason being is I have ADHD, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. I am on the good old Addy and it works great. But a lot of these days that I'm going to be filming the podcast, I'm going to be like off from work, and I don't take my Addy when I'm off from work. So it's going to be a little scatterbrained. She's going to be a little scatterbrained. I'm just going to warn you now. So I hope you can keep up. I hope this is somewhat interesting. If no one watches this, that's fine. I'm just doing this for me, and I'm just doing this to like get my yapping out and talk to the void or my beautiful 3 iPhone camera lenses and just rant about stuff, or like, and by rant, I mean like crazy fun, crazy ranting, not like angry ranting. I don't really get angry that often. I'm just a silly little guy. But yeah, I have ADHD. I am non-binary. What does that mean? That means I'm a little guy. My pronouns are she, they, leaning they, but still she, because I'll never be him. And yeah, I don't know. This is going to be really, I'm going to be really awkward the first couple episodes. I'm going to be very nervous, so I apologize. Something that's held me back from starting YouTube for the past 10 years is my perfectionist mindset. I don't love her always. She's great at times, But a lot of the time she holds me back from doing things that I really want to do, YouTube being one of them. I've always told myself like, oh, the backdrop doesn't look like as good as these other YouTubers who've been doing it for 10 years and have money to put into these projects, right? So my brain's like, oh, you don't have a camera like them. You don't have a backdrop like them. You don't have blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, of course I don't have these things. I haven't been doing it for 10 years. Clearly have not been doing it for 10 years. So, yeah, like I said earlier, this is my year to just do it. Like, who cares if I don't have a perfect camera to do it? iPhones, you're right there, right? You're right there. I have an iPhone. I have a face. I have a voice. I have a laptop. I have a computer. I have a microphone. I can do it. Even if it's not perfect, and I'm looking at you, future editing Cass, even if it's not perfect, we just have to do it. And that's something that I have to get over if I want to accomplish my dreams. I have to get over the rough patches, because the only way for it to get better is for me to have the practice, and then I'll get better with the learning of it. Like you don't start out perfect. And that's something that I've had to accept over the past many years of starting so many different hobbies. You don't start out perfect. There's nothing that you can just start and then immediately be amazing at. So I have to remind myself of that and be gentle with myself and handle myself with grace and be like, dude, you're chill, right? You got this. You're going to get better. You got this. So recently, I have been going through a whirlwind of life things. I feel like I'm trying to play catch up over the past 2 years of my life. And that's a story for another time for sure. This episode is going to be kind of like a recent events, get you kind of like lightly caught up with what's been cooking in my kitchen. But yeah, I've been trying to play like catch up with hobbies and interests and shows and music and like get back into consuming things or like doing more analog activities and get like more off my computer. I say this as I'm about to edit this video, but like, I just don't want to be at my computer all day anymore. Like, I like gaming. I like content creation for sure, but I want to get back into stuff that doesn't tie me to technology. So I've been doing so much. I've been doing so much since like, I want to say it started the tail end of December, but mostly January. January was my month of like, hey, we're doing everything, right? So I got into my woo-woo magic era. And what that means is I am now a witch. I am now a witch, not legally or professionally binding. I'm not like, official witch, but I have tarot cards now. I have oracle cards. I have these sick fortune telling, like fucking witch cards. I don't know. They're kind of spooky. Not going to lie. We're going to do a future episode about all of my woo-woo magic stuff, but that's been really fun. I've been really enjoying that with like my friends reading, like getting tarot card readings or like whatever, not by professional witches again, but like by myself or by my friends and doing them for each other. It's just been like really fun. And most of the time, like 99% of the time, they call me the fuck out. They're like, sis, we need to talk. You need to do these things. Or like, hey, girl, we know what's cooking. And it's kind of spooky. I'm not going to lie. It's really fucking fun. But learning all about that has been great. I waited a while to get my own tarot deck because I had heard that it was superstitious or like bad luck to buy your own tarot deck. And so I wasn't gonna do it. And I was like, oh, okay. So like you have to just be gifted a tarot deck in order to like start tarot. And I was like, that's kind of fucked up. Cause then you just have to like go wink, wink, nudge, nudge, friends. Like I'm really into tarot cards, but I just can't get them because it's bad luck. That's nuts. Like, are you supposed to wait for it to fall into your lap? I don't know. So I went to like a spooky little witch shop in Oregon when I visited my friends and family. And I talked to the cashier witch. And I was like, hey, is this true? And she was like, I mean, that's like old rules or old superstition. But she's like, nowadays, like just find a deck. And if it resonates with you, that's what really like matters because of the woo woo magic, like woo stuff, you know? And so I was like, okay, sick. So I got a really cool deck. I'll show you guys on that episode of the pod, but I've been learning that. That's been really cool. I've also gotten into fucking horoscope shit. I always told myself that I would never do that. I was like, no, we cannot be a horoscope girl. We cannot be a tarot card girl. That is all hogwash. That is all nothing. And so I finally got into it, and I'm not like a full blown subscriber to that YouTube channel. But you can subscribe to this one if you want to. But like, I like it because it is fun. And like, it does really, all it really does is it just helps you with like introspection. And I'm a big introspection person. Can't talk. I'm a big introspection person. So like tarot cards, they're just going to tell you something. And then how you interpret that immediately, like whatever your gut reaction is, that's just, it's calling forth the things that are already in your brain, but like they're bringing them to the front and center so you can pay attention more to like what you need to address and stuff like that. Same thing with the horoscope stuff. Like it tells you stuff about your personality. There are things that you probably already know, or if there are things that you don't really resonate with, maybe it'll make you think about yourself in like a different perspective or different way or like whatever and stuff like that. So it just kind of helps in a philosophical or like psychological way, but you definitely, in my opinion, you definitely shouldn't like fully subscribe to it and let it rule your life and be the blueprint for everything. Cause that would be nuts. Like imagine if I was like, oh my God, I'm a Gemini, Tiger, Chinese zodiac. And like, because of that, I can't eat seaweed. Like that would be crazy. So don't subscribe to it fully, but like it is a lot of fun to play around with and just like see what it says. Along those lines, I also took the Enneagram test. Don't know. I heard about it from Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning on their podcast, Ear Biscuits. They took the Enneagram test like years ago, and I always thought about taking it, and I was just like, no, like I don't need to take it. I don't need to know like my personality, because it's like a personality test. Apparently, this is alleged. This is, from my little bit of research that I've done. Apparently, it's similar to a Myers-Briggs personality test, which is like the INFJ, those type of things. But supposedly, it's more backed by psychology than the Enneagram one is more backed by psychology than the Myers-Briggs personality test. So I liked it a little bit more because it feels a little bit more like legit and just, I don't know. I liked it a little bit more. And I also trust Rhett and Link with my entire body and soul because they are like my grown-up role models. So I listened to their podcast episode about it. I think they actually had like a couple, maybe like 1 or 2 podcast episodes about it. And Link was a Enneagram 1 and Rhett was an Enneagram 3, I believe. An Enneagram 1 is the perfectionist or the reformer. And I've always felt like I'm very similar to Link in like some of his behaviors and stuff like that. And so when I took the Enneagram test, I ended up getting a 1 as well. And I was like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I am a perfectionist. And a lot of people get that, at least from my perspective, a lot of people get that kind of mixed up, and they're like, oh, like, I can't be a perfectionist because I'm not perfect, or I don't need everything to be perfect. And it's like, yes, to me, that's what makes a perfectionist. Like, a perfectionist will never, for the most part, will never actually like say, oh, everything's perfect, right? Because nothing's perfect, because nothing is ever as good as we want it to be. Or we have extremely high expectations for ourselves that like we just can't meet. For me, the reason why I resonate with it so much is because the perfectionist, it's also called the reformer. And that means you are constantly looking for ways to change, ways to improve, ways to be just better in every different aspect of your life. And that is something that I've always been like obsessed with in mostly a healthy way. Like most of my life, I'm always asking people like, hey, how can I improve at my job? How can I improve at communication? Like what can I be doing better? Blah, 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 blah. And it's driven a lot of my bosses actually kind of crazy, and it's made them kind of annoyed with me because I'm not someone that needs like a pat on the back being like, hey, good job. You're doing this good. Here's what you're doing right. I want to be told constantly, hey, here's what you're doing wrong and you need to fix it. And I love hearing that because I'm like, cool, I can fix it. I know I'm fully capable of like fixing it. And that's all I need to hear. I just need to know how I can improve. So anyways, I'm an Enneagram 1. I got into the Enneagram thing with the tarot cards and the horoscope stuff and the like Chinese zodiac, and it's all this crazy shit. And it was just kind of fun to like see that whole spiel of stuff. Along with that, we're in the year of the snake currently. It's about to end in like a few days. And we're about to get into the year of the horse, specifically the fire horse in Chinese zodiac. And you might be like, what the fuck does that mean, Cass? Hey, those are animals. How are we in a year of an animal? I don't fully understand it myself, to be honest, but I do know that the year of the snake is all about like introspection, changing on the inside, laying the groundwork and the foundation for, okay, you might have had an earthquake. That was my cat, Kyo. He just wobbled us around, so we're fine. So yeah, the year of the snake is about introspection and like laying the inner groundwork for change. And then the year of the fire horse specifically is about like actually making those fucking changes, sis, like getting that shit done and like full steam ahead. So I feel like that does really resonate with me. And I didn't even know about that really until the end of the year. And I was like, oh my God, that's kind of crazy because that's been exactly what's been going on for like 2025. I was doing so much inner work and changing so much. It was nuts. And we can go into that at a different time, but that is that. Before we jump into the next bit, we're going to have a word from our sponsors. Hey guys, Miko here. I'm today's sponsor. That's right, I'm my own sponsor. I stream over on Twitch as a VTuber where I play games, yap, do art and crochet, and a ton more. So if you want to catch one of my streams, check the links in the description below and come say hi. Okay, I put on a jacket because I got cold in my house. And so if you're wondering why I'm wearing a fake leather jacket inside, it's because I'm cold and I'm chilly. Okay, so get over it. So my next hyperfixation I got into towards like literally just in January or like December, crazy, was Star Wars. So I've always been a huge Star Wars fan. Always been a Nikki fan. Not anymore. But I never really like dove into it as much as I wanted to. And this was the year I was like, you know what? We're going to fucking get in there, girl. We're going to dive headfirst into Mando's ship. So I was like, dude, we're going to watch everything Star Wars. And when I mean everything, I mean literally everything. We're going to watch every single thing that Star Wars has put out in universe order. So let's get something squared away first and foremost, right? If you watch it in chronologically released order, you are a psychopath and I don't want to talk to you. You're wrong. Just like explicitly wrong. If you watch it in release order, you're crazy. You're entitled to your opinion. You can have one, but don't talk to me. Because why would you want to watch the story jumping around, right? Like, so like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I could see it in the sense of like, wow, look at the advancements that we've made in like cinematography. Is that the word? Cinematography? In filmography. Look at the advances. Look at the advancements we've made, right? In film. Super cool. And like, she didn't want to be there. I get it, right? But I can do that with other things. I want to watch it in the universe order because I want to watch the story progress from the very beginning to the very end. I also have a Kyo hair on my nose. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I've been watching it from universe order. Really recommend it. I started with The Acolyte. Mixed opinions on that show. We're going to have a whole Star Wars podcast episode so we can get into everything then. But then currently I'm on The Mandalorian. Just finished season 1. I need to watch the rest of the seasons. So I'm like 3/4 of the way done with all of this stuff. My favorite series so far. Let me just ground myself really quickly before I freak out and then go on a rant for the next 30 minutes. My favorite series is Andor. If you have not seen Andor for the Star Wars shit, you need to pause this, right? Pause this episode of the podcast. Go watch the 2 seasons of Andor. Come back, unpause the video, and then we can talk. So you need to watch it. If you're not a Star Wars fan, I still would recommend, honestly, because it's just such a good show. You don't really need to understand a lot going into the show. You don't need to, like, sure, there's politics and there's like lore and there's stuff that's important, but I feel like they do a good enough job explaining it in the show without needing to dumb it down, without needing to have prior knowledge. And then also like, it's a phenomenal show. It's beautiful. The filming is beautiful. The sound design is beautiful. The character development for all the characters. I have never loved every single character in a show before, or gotten so attached to characters that are only around for like a handful of episodes, than I have with Andor. So I'll stop there because, like I said, I can talk about this for hours, and I have to do there's going to be a whole Star Wars episode. So I have to save my thoughts. I have to save them. I have a whole list of stuff we still need to get into. I'll go quick. I've also been into philosophy recently. I've read, recently I just finished reading The Metamorphosis by Kafka. That's the one where the guy wakes up and he's turned into a bug, and like that whole journey. That's a good read. It's like really short. I want to say it's like under 100 pages. Really good. Really recommend if you are like wanting to dip your toes into philosophy and just think about things. There's a lot of really good messages in there. Sad messages, but like good ones about family and societal pressure and isolation. So highly recommend that. I've also been listening to the audiobook of Daily Stoicism. It's like 366 Daily Stoicism fucking whatevers, and it's like 1 to 2 minute chapters, and so there's one for every day of the year, so you can read all of them if you want in one sitting, but like I like to listen to the day that it is. So like today, February 6th, there was an episode for today about stoicism, and so it's like just like a little daily reminder of like ways to lead your life. And like stoicism is a really good can't talk. Stoicism is a really good philosophical like branch. I really like Stoicism, and we can get into philosophy later too. And this is kind of just like a little gist of future episodes that I'm going to be getting into, honestly. I've been doing a lot of reading recently. I read 4 books just in January, which is a huge jump from my past record of 0 books over the last 10 years. I seriously have not read, I don't think, a single book outside of like college stuff over the past 10 years. And that's really sad because I used to read a lot of books when I was younger, and then I just like couldn't find anything that really interested me. So now I'm reading everything. If you recommend me a book, I will probably read it because I'm trying to read everything and like get back into it. And by Jove, have I am eating. I'm eating those books. What else is going on recently? Work, for those that can't talk again. Who am I? For those that don't know, I work at a suit shop. I have said that on stream a couple times. People thought I said soup shop. I don't work at a soup shop. That would be great. But I work at a suit shop. I sell suits to people, primarily, mostly straight cis men. And that, if you know, you know. And so there's been a lot of really crazy customers that have been coming into the store recently. And we'll get into those stories at another episode too. And I'll make a whole list of my crazy customer interactions. Maybe I'll even ask you guys for like your craziest work customer fucking interactions, because people are nuts. I literally, right before I sat down to film this episode, I got a call from one of my coworkers / friends. And she was like, dude, this crazy fucking shit just happened and I need to tell somebody. And I was like, I'm here. Like, I'm dialed in. So people are crazy. I'll definitely tell my crazy customer stories, some of which I've already said on stream, some of which I haven't ever told before. So we'll do an episode on that. I've also been doing a lot of touching grass with friends recently. Really, really grateful for the friends that I have in my life currently. I'm in such a good place, and I'm just so happy. I'm not gonna cry on the first episode because that would be crazy, but I just want my friends to know that I'm extremely grateful that they are in my life. I'm so happy to know them, and yeah, I've been having a really good time touching grass and doing the cool life things. And I just could not be happier, like, with my life, with who I am and the people that I'm surrounding myself with. Really, really grateful. And I'm honestly speechless sometimes. And yeah, so that's that. Your girl has also been heartbroken recently. So dealing with that, I won't touch into too much on that because who needs to hear about my sad little heartbroken little guy vibes, right? No one needs to hear about that. So will I talk about that later? Maybe, possibly. But as of right now, heartbroken, sad. I've never been more heartbroken than I am right now, actually. So despite that, I'm still super happy with the rest of my life. And that's a unique feeling that I've never felt before. Because typically I literally just said I wasn't going to get into this, and now I'm talking about it. Strap in for that to be the case for the next who knows how many episodes or my existence on the internet. I will always talk way too much. So yeah, it's a new experience for me to be super happy with who I am, be super happy with my life, but also be literally the most heartbroken I've ever been in my life. I've never experienced something like this before. I was talking to my friend about this the other day, and it's like so dramatic, but like, I'll touch on this really quickly and then we'll move the fuck on because who cares? It feels like I lost a literal part of myself with this recent heartbreak. And I've never felt like that before, ever. So yeah, that's been something that I've been having to deal with, but also still learn how to be super happy day to day with the rest of my life. And I'm really glad that I'm at a place where I can juggle both, because otherwise I would be drowning. Speaking of drowning, let's talk about iron lung. So for those that don't know, I'm a huge Markiplier fan. I am the biggest Markiplier fanboy in the world. That's a lie. That's something you can't really measure or quantify, but huge Mark fan, huge Ethan fan, huge Distractible fan. Just love that group so much. I listen to Distractible every single day. I've been listening to Distractible every single day for the past 4 years, I think. 3-4 years. What's this year? Yeah, I think 3 or 4 years. I've been listening to Distractible every single day. I also listen to it every single night when I go to sleep. Like all night, Distractible is playing. So there have been times where I will forget that I have the podcast playing. I will wake up and I'll go, oh, there's a man speaking in my room. And then I go, oh, no, that's just Bob. Right. So I love them to pieces. They make me so happy. They brighten up my week, my day, like all the time. They have helped me through really, really hard times in my life. Mark in general, his videos, Ethan, his videos, but like Distractible mainly, to be honest. I discovered Distractible a little bit before my mom passed away. And so then when she did pass, I was going through a really hard time, and just having something where I could listen to just people having such an amazing, like, fun time, right? They're laughing constantly. They're having such good back and forth banter, just like crying, laughing with each other. And that made me have like the strength and the happiness to get through really hard times in my life. And still to this day, if I need to have like a perk up because I'm sad or going through like a rough patch, their videos really help me get through that. So I do have to say that I am I'm a listener of Distractible most of the time. I will always watch the new episodes when they come out, but then at nighttime I become a listener. So I'm sorry. That is a taboo in the community because Bob really hates the listeners. It's a joke. It's a joke. But yeah, so Distractible, Mark, all of that is good things. But Iron Lung, I saw Iron Lung on the release day. And it was so good. It was so good. If you haven't seen that, again, pause the video. Go walk to your local movie theater right now and watch the fucking movie. Okay? Watch the movie. It was a great 2 hours of my life. I liked it so much, in fact, that I'm going to go watch it tomorrow. Again, for the second time. I unfortunately wasn't able to get a popcorn bucket because the closest one was like forever away from me, but that's okay. I don't need a popcorn bucket. But it was so good, dude. Me and my friend have been like thinking about it for the past week or so. I think, yeah, past week or so, we've just been thinking about it. I've thought about it every day. I like every tweet I see about it. I see all the posts all the time, and they make me laugh, and they're so cute and all that stuff, like all the little fan TikToks of it. It was a really good movie. The sound design alone was fantastic. I still have yet to listen to the entire soundtrack because it's a fucking long, it's the whole length of the movie. It's a 2-hour long soundtrack. But Andrew did a phenomenal job. It's the soundscape of it, like, let alone the music. The music's great, but also the sound design of you're in, spoilers also, if you haven't seen the movie, I'll give you a little second to pause it, skip forward a little bit while I'm talking about this if you want to. But you're in a submarine. You're in this little room, basically, and they had to deliver the idea of you don't know what's outside of the submarine. So they had to have the noises, the ambient sounds, and deliver that picture to people's minds. If you don't have aphantasia, they had to have the sound design paint the picture for you, because you don't know what's outside. And we still don't know what's outside the submarine, to be honest. We have all the pictures, right? Or like the X-ray pictures, but that still doesn't paint the full picture of what the fuck actually was down there. Like, it's an ocean of blood. I can't wrap my head around what that even entails. And then you're in these, what we think are walls down in the depths, right? But like, are they really? Are they something else? There's a lot of like theories about, is it like inside something? Is it inside a creature? Is that fish also inside a creature? I have no fucking clue. We will never know. And that's great to me. I think the unknown of Iron Lung, the game, and the unknown of Iron Lung, the movie, is what makes it so good. And that's something that a lot of like, I don't know what they'd be called, reviewers, critics, that's the word. A lot of critics had to say about it was like, oh, like there's just so much that we don't know about, so much that's like left unanswered. And I'm like, girl, yeah, that's A, the point. And B, I think so much of society nowadays, so much of media nowadays, people, I don't know if it's media created this for us or we've created media to be like this, but like there's this expectation nowadays where stuff has to be spoon fed to us. We have to know the ins and outs of everything. We have to be like, every single question has to be answered. Everything needs to be super black and white and just laid out in front of us. And I think that has ruined our perception of media that doesn't do that. And that's something that like even recently with me, like studying philosophy more, is there is not one answer to something. There is not one way of thinking about something. It's not laid out for you at all. It's about your perspective on it, or your perception that you've gathered from whatever the media is. But like that is Iron Lung in a nutshell. You are in a fucking submarine. You cannot see besides the pictures and then the radar that tells you where you are. But even that's not really seeing, right? So it's supposed to be unanswered. It's supposed to be about what your perception is. That's why the sound design was so important. We hear the sounds of the ambient, like blood. We hear the sounds of the fish creature swimming around the submarine, and we don't truly know what it is or like where it is or what's really going on. And it's all up to our individual interpretation of what those sounds mean, because that's truly what Simon was experiencing. And I think that is such a cool aspect of a movie, because again, nowadays we see the ins and outs of everything. And as much as that is also interesting, we don't always need to know the answers of everything that's going on. Like, you get the inside narrative of the main character. You get the outside like perspective of what's going on. You get all these puzzle pieces, and the puzzle gets made for you. But with Iron Lung, you get this puzzle piece, you get that puzzle piece, and you kind of start to get the little, pieces fitting together. And then like sometimes you'll think you got two pieces that fit together, and then something will happen in the movie where you're like, oh boy, those don't fit together at all, actually. And you don't truly get the puzzle made at the end of the movie. But that's what's so cool, is you're not supposed to. You're supposed to have things unanswered. There's supposed to be things where you can make theories or talk about your different perspectives. So I really enjoy that. And again, that's what I like so much about philosophy, because you'll read even Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis, and you could take it black and white, like, oh yeah, the main character got turned into a bug, right? And you could go, cool, he's a bug, and that is what it is. Or you could think about the hidden meaning behind something, and you can think about the different perspectives, and you can go, did he really get turned into a bug, or is this just a metaphor, right? So Iron Lung, sound design, phenomenal. The concept, phenomenal. I mean, obviously it's based off the game, but the concept of not having it spoon-fed to us, not having it laid out black and white, here's everything you need to know. There's a lot of things that are left unanswered, and I think that's fantastic. Those things aside, the cinematography was so fucking good. It made me so happy. So if you don't know Mark, if you don't know Distractible very much, brother talks so much about lenses. He talks so much about lenses and cameras, lenses in particular. And for all of the lens talks that I have endured and enjoyed and learned useless information that I'm never going to use by watching Distractible and watching Mark, you can just feel his passion through sitting in that movie theater. You can feel the passion from every tiny shift of the camera angle. It was crazy. So again, just to re-emphasize this, you're in a submarine. You are literally in a box, a rectangle, right? You're in one room the entire movie. The entire movie, you are inside a box. That could have been the most boring movie in the world. And he made it so ungodly, interactive, dynamic, and entertaining. All of the tiny shifts of the angle of the camera made it so dynamic and interesting. And that was just so cool to see. All the close zoom ups on his eyes, the like from below shot when he presses the camera button, crazy. And so again, you could feel the passion and the love for the art coming through the screen. And I feel like that's something that is so overproduced nowadays in a lot of movies. Like, sure, movies are gorgeous. I'm not going to say that they're bad, or I'm not a cinemaphile. I'm not a filmographer guy, right? But like, I feel like nowadays it's so overproduced in so many ways, but like this, you could truly feel the love and the passion behind every shot. And I saw a review talk about like I think it was even Mark talked about a review in one of his videos recently that made me cry because he was crying. I'm a big empathetic crier. If I see someone that I like cry, it's over. There's water everywhere. So he was reading a review on a recent video or stream that he had done. And the reviewer said like when Simon has the drop of blood comes from the ceiling and it hits Simon's hand, and then he wipes it off on his leg, the camera not only showed it drop on his hand, it also showed the blood on his thigh. And it was just so simple, and so like many movies probably would have cut it out because it was unnecessary and just like, who needs to see that? But like those little things, it's like, that's a way to change up the scene and the angle to make it, again, interesting and dynamic and keep it changing for the viewer. But also, it's just such a cool close-up shot that you just don't really see nowadays, right? So all of that's great. I think also another reason why I really liked it is because, for those that don't know, I'm not a horror game or horror movie fan. Typically, I want to be so badly. I want to enjoy horror so much. I'm a Weenie Hut Jr. I am the scaredest scaredy cat in the entire world. I've been getting better. I've been getting better for sure. If you need a reference, I think there's clip compilations or clips of me playing Five Nights at Freddy's and screaming bloody murder. I also played what's that one called? Palmyra Orphanage. Can't pronounce that word. Don't know why. And I screamed because I got into a closet, which, makes sense because I'm gay. So yeah, I'm really bad at scary games, really bad with scary movies. I want to like them. But anyways, this movie was great because it built up so much tension. It built up so much unknown. And honestly, that is, in the course of human history, one of the scariest things to people is the fear of the unknown, right? It makes us uncomfortable. It makes us wary. It makes us anxious and freak out. There is so much unknown because you can't see. So not only is it like kind of claustrophobic because again, you're in a submarine, you're underwater, which is also scary as fuck. I don't think I could ever go in a submarine, to be honest. That would be terrifying. So you're in a submarine, underwater, tiny confined space, running out of oxygen. Scary. So now you realize, oh my God, I'm on a time limit and I don't know how long that time is. Undetermined. All of these unknowns you can't see. You have an X-ray fucking camera to go off of. And you're like, I don't know how much I can trust this because I can't read X-rays personally. I'm not a radiologist. So all of that's the unknown you can't see. That's scary. There's also the fear of like when it starts, spoiler, flooding and like all the blood's getting in there. Then you could drown in blood. Like there's just so many. And then he has to get in the crawl space, the confined space of that, freaking me out. That scared me so bad. And when he was like, oh fuck no, I also was like, oh fuck no, girl. You could not catch me going down there. You could not catch me going down there. I mean, I guess if you're going to die anyways, sure. Why not have a little, get that black box. If you're going to die anyways, get it. But yeah, it was such a good movie. I'm very excited to go see it again tomorrow. I'm just extremely proud of Mark as a viewer for the past 4 years. I wish I had started watching him when he first started YouTube. I just wasn't in that sphere of YouTubers. But I'm just so happy I found him 4 years ago. I'm so happy I started watching him 4 years ago. That also means that I unfortunately missed the redacted period. So I'm very sad about that. But I'm getting to enjoy the Mark and that sphere as much as I can now. So that's what's important. But yeah, as a viewer over the past 4 years and seeing the stages of him work on this for the past 3 years has just been so, the payoff is so great for me as a viewer. I can't even imagine the tenfold, 100-fold payoff that he feels and the crew feels and all of his friends and family feel for him. And it's just so amazing for so many reasons. I'm just so proud of him. And like I said, when he cried all the times in his videos, I was sitting here crying like a little baby. And I was like, I've just never felt so much unbridled joy for someone that I don't personally know. And like, that's crazy. And like brings up, parasocialness and whatever. But like, truly and honestly, I think he is one of the most genuine people. And you can just feel the genuinosity, the genuineness. I don't know the word. You can feel how genuine he is through the screen and just over the years of his reputation and just that he's built for himself, not like because of numbers or anything, but just like the rapport he's built for himself based off of who he is and his actions. Yeah, he's an incredible inspiration as a person. He's an incredible inspiration as a content creator, a creative and online presence. I think he leads a great example of what people should be, or how they should be conducting themselves online with love and care and passion. And it's just amazing to see his creative endeavors just come to life. So yeah, with that, I'll stop talking and I'll move on to the final segment of the podcast episode, which is called right now, Flavor of the Week. That's not going to stay. I don't know. We're going to come up with some cool, fun stuff as the time goes on, but Flavor of the Week, what that means is I'm going to talk about some songs that I've been listening to. I'm going to talk about some recent hyperfixations besides the ones I just got into at the beginning of the episodes, but that's fine. And then like sometimes I'll have a little vocal stim or something, right, that I'm going to put in here and inject into your brain. So songs of the week. Recently I have been really enjoying Enemy by Father of Peace. Really recommend that band. They have a lot of really good songs. Enemy is such a fun one, and I fucking like scream sing it like driving to work every day. It's just such like a fun like pump up song. It sounds so good. Really enjoy it. I also enjoy Advice, Trapeze, Land of Foreign Suns. They have a lot of really good songs, so highly recommend Father of Peace. Queens of the Stone Age. That's a band. That is my favorite band. I don't know how to pronounce this word, so I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it's Kalopsia or Kalopsia. I don't know. It's Kalopsia. Kalopsia. It's a Greek word by Queens of the Stone Age. My favorite song by them. They are a great band. Basically, it's a song about like overly tinted rose-colored glasses and sometimes how over-optimism can be bad. But it's also about like self-love and like those type of vibes. And I really have been enjoying them. And then the third song that I just recently discovered is it's a song called Cumboy by Viagra Boys. It just showed up on a like playlist on Spotify one day, and I was like, okay, I have to click on that because what the fuck is A, that name of the song, and B, what the fuck is that band name? That's nuts. And it's a really good song, not gonna lie. I really enjoy it. They have a couple other good songs. A lot of their music is really, really weird and has really weird lyrics. I really like weird bands and songs and just sounds because to me, like, good music has like unique ways and creative ways of using sound. So yeah, those are my 3 song recommendations of the week. My person of the week is Mark, and that's been my hyperfixation. It's just anything and everything Mark. And then my vocal stim of the week is crediting to my friend. It's not really a vocal stim. It's just a saying I guess it's a vocal stim. It's the ball is in their court and they have a basketball game tomorrow. It was just such a funny saying, and I've been using it a lot. Like I used it the other day and I said, the ball's in my court and I have a basketball game tomorrow. No, I said, yeah, it was like, I just said this yesterday. I said, it's something about me being late to everything. I said, the ball is in my court and I had a basketball game yesterday, but I missed it. It was something stupid like that. And I've just been really enjoying saying that. With that, let me know in the comments below. This is my first time ever saying that. That's really scary to say, not gonna lie. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this episode, if there's anything I can do to improve episodes in the future. I'm going to be pre-recording a couple episodes from the get-go so that we have like a couple kind of like stored up and like ready for release. I hope I have the balls to actually post this, to be honest. Otherwise, I just sat here for an hour and talked to myself more than I usually do. But yeah, let me know if there's anything you'd like me to talk about on the podcast. Let me know if you have any recommendations, any critiques. Other than that, you can check out my other socials in the descriptions below. There's one description. You can check out my stream over on Twitch, Miko Makan VT, and you'll probably be seeing more of my face on here and maybe stream in the future. So goodbye. Have a good day, you guys. Thank you for sitting and yapping or listening to me yap. I hope I wasn't boring. I hope I wasn't crazy. Okay, goodbye.